Hello and welcome to My Opinion Archive. In today's video, I'm going to give you a list of 3 aspects I think are interesting from the Golden Compass universe, also known as his dark materials. The first thing I've always found interesting about this universe is the diamonds, or demons. I'm not sure how it's actually said in the original English books, but in the books I've read, it's always been diamonds, so that's what I'm going to call them. I think this is a very interesting idea because diamonds are a manifestation of the character we follow's soul and a picture into who this person really is. And it makes for a very interesting way to tell information about a character while still making it a little bit hard to find out because you have to guess what that particular animal stands for and how it relates to that person. I also find it interesting in terms of the universe, since diamonds can be used to communicate, since they can talk and they can act as an extension of their human counterparts. And they can be used to read other people, so you can look at a person's diamond, and then figure out what is that person truly thinking, how is that person truly feeling, and you can communicate with the diamond instead of them. So you can have a conversation with an aspect of them without actually having a conversation with them. Another thing I find interesting about diamonds is that as kids, people's diamonds can change into any animal they want to, but as adults, it can't. And I've always liked this idea because it's a nice little bit of symbolic way of describing that kids don't know themselves. They don't know as much about how they are, and they're still developing. So their diamonds don't really have a particular shape or particular form because they are still developing who they are. So their physical representation of themselves in terms of the diamond's animal form is subject to change. And I just find this a really good way of also seeing the difference between adults and children. I've also find them interesting in the stories, the movies, or the books, because they are a manifestation of the soul, and it means that you can hurt a diamond and hurt the person, the counterpart, the human. And that's has made some interesting scenarios in, for instance, combat, because you can attack a person's diamond or capture it, and that person is forced to surrender or can be killed. And it makes for some interesting combat, which I don't think you see in that many stories. I've also find it interesting in terms of scouting, because those people who have diamonds who are birds use them to see what's ahead and how does things look from above, and that's very interesting because they can use their particular diamond to a particular role. But it also has its limitations. So they have to stay within a certain range of their diamond, which of course limits the scouting. So it makes for these interesting scenarios where people are trying to use their diamonds, but diamonds also get far away, which can be a danger because then diamond can be attacked and they can't really defend it. The last thing I have always found interesting about the diamonds is what if you remove them? Said another way, what if you remove a person's soul? Now, this is a spoiler, but this is addressed in the original movie and in the books, and I think it is a very interesting aspect of this universe that you can physically remove a person's soul. Now for a fun fact about diamonds, for those who do not know, but I guess a lot of people who are watching this video who don't really care about the spoilers knows this particular little part of the universe. But that is that most diamonds are the opposite sex of their human counterpart. So if you are a boy, your diamond will be a girl. And I've always wondered why this particular part is. If it's some sort of metaphor. If some of you know, please leave a comment. The next aspect of the universe that I find interesting is quite a big spoiler. So if you have only seen the original movie and are just starting to see the new series and you haven't read the books, it's going to spoil some things. Some of it had already been introduced as of the upload of this video, but I am going to take some information from the books, so there are going to be spoilers about things that are probably going to come in the series. You have been warned. Now, for the rest of you that are still here, thank you for sticking around. The aspect I really found interesting throughout the books is the windows into other worlds. And that's because it allows for exploration of different worlds, seeing different people, seeing different ways of life. And I've always found it interesting that there are these consequences to these windows, which, if you've read the books, you probably know what that is. And that is the dust, the dark materials, and all the other names that dust is given in the different worlds. It has a huge impact on it, and it is really important for this universe. Then there is the specters, which is a very interesting aspect of this, who sucks dust, life, demons, whatever you call it, out of people. There's also an interesting consequence to these windows into different worlds. And with the exploration of different worlds comes a very interesting part of the books, a very interesting part of the story, and that's when they go visit the underworld, the dimension or world where dead souls go. And this I really found interesting in the books, because first of all, it's visiting the underworld. It's a very interesting concept. It has been done before, but it's always interesting. And it of course gives the opportunity to meet and interact with characters who are dead and see how they react to meeting them again and the events that has happened since they died. It also made for a very interesting moral throughout the stories that if you are going to find a way out of the underworld, if you're going to have your soul be free again, you have to tell stories to the guardians of the underworld. And I like this moral because it's a little reminder to remember to live, to experience things, to get out, not necessarily physically get outside, that's not what I'm telling you to do, but to have experiences, to have stories to tell, to remember to live your life while you are still alive. Now, the last aspect I find interesting, at least the last one I'm going to mention in this video, is the artifacts, if you can call it that are in the series. What I'm talking about is, of course, the golden compass itself, and I'm probably going to butcher this pronunciation, the alethiometer, I hope I said that right, and the subtle knife, which in the books I read were called the Knife of Shadows, or at least that's how I would translate it. So I might end up calling it that throughout this explanation, but I hope you know what I'm talking about. Now, the knife I think was interesting because of its ability to cut through everything in any world. And I like how it was used in the ending, which again, there's going to be spoilers in this video. I said it in the beginning, but I'm going to keep it a little bit vague. But I like the fact that in the ending, the knife was destroyed by being used against the one thing it couldn't cut through. And of course, the fact that the knife can make the windows into different worlds, which is of course tied to the previous point I made. And I also found the golden compass, which is what I'm just going to call it from now on because I can't pronounce its actual name correctly, or at least I'm not going to attempt to do that more throughout the video. I find that interesting simply because of its ability to communicate with dust and get true answers to questions, which of course is a big power to have. And I like the fact that in the universe, it's not just the main character, Lyra, who can use it. There's also other people who has these golden compasses and can use them. And it's actually a job that takes a long time. So the fact that Lyra can do it so easily at such a young age is a little bit remarkable. And I like the fact that from the book, and again, spoilers, she loses this ability and has to regain this ability. She has to use her life. I think she's told it's going to take a lifetime to be able to get it close to the level she could do naturally beforehand. As always, this has been my opinion archive. Thank you for watching the video. Please tell me what you think about the Golden Compass universe. Have you read the books? Have you only seen the movie? What do you think of the new series? Thank you for watching.